Hello, this is Elena. This is Call Me the Elena, where I talk about my life, what's on my mind, and what's heavy on my noggin, as Bailey Sarian would say. Now, I do have a true crime channel called Crime Balls. It's also home of the Tuesday Witchcraft podcast, which I talk about crystals, spirituality, and other good things, so feel free to go on that channel. Also, I will be talking mainly about myself today, who I am, excuse me, I just had dinner, and what I'm about, what has happened in my life, and that's about it. As you may know, my name is Elena, but where I live I'm called Sufi because I kind of get bored with my legal name when I'm not using it for creative purposes. Now, I do have the other channel I mentioned, but I also have a channel called Beautifully Freaky. If you ever want to hear my music, look there for the Beautifully Freaky link or the name of my artist name on Spotify. I also have a DeviantArt called Elena Molan 89 Sun, 89 as in the numbers, with the numbers, where I do mostly creepypasta stuff, and other interesting stuff that I do is creepypasta artwork. Now, you're going to wonder why I do that for a living, because, one, I was born in a war zone. That's number one trauma that I've had. I was starved, and other triggering things had happened to me. I'm not going to say which on YouTube, but anyways, I was not, let's say I wasn't treated like royalty, which I can understand, but some people, number one, some people should not have children, i.e. my birth mother, and some people should be born in a nice cushy country like Canada or the US, where stupid stuff like what happened to me, I will mention this one day, will not happen to them. Kids are fragile things. So, that being said, I'm still a fragile person. I don't look it with my split earlobe that I split doing a gauging incident, if you're ever wondering why the ear on the other channel or on this channel. Why do I have 3 earlobes and only 1 earring? Because, well, this one's split, one doing a gauging thing, and might I suggest, if you're going to gauge your ears, don't be a nitwit like me, a knucklehead, and use a triangle-shaped earring. Do not. That is my only suggestion with gauging. Also, too large, too fast will also get you in the same situation as me. That's the highlight of my life right now is this, because, as I said, this was an accident. I was raised Catholic, though it did not stick with me. By the time I was 17, I had my first depression, where I was depressed a lot. You know, depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain, and you're not able to think straight. You're moody, you cry, dark thoughts go through your head. Well, there was a cause to my depression when I was 16, 17 years old. Backtrack, when I was in grade 8, I was bullied severely by 2 Neanderthals, who I'm not going to mention their names, but if you ever hack my Facebook or whatever and you see my block list, there's a good chance you'll find the 2 suspects. I won't say their names, though, because I'm at least respectful of their privacy, so, and I do not want them to come after me. So, that being said, they were the worst friends I've had, and that was a load of trauma as well. Packed into one school year, I was threatened with everything under the sun by the principal. I got into fights, I did pranks just as a cry for help. It's a wonder this didn't happen sooner than later, but besides the point. Other things that happened to me was when I was in high school. This was more of a eventful time in my life. It was a peaceful, tranquil, except for the depression, and productive time in my life. I was actually seen as gifted, whereas in school, in elementary school, I was deemed a certain word, let's say, mentally unfit, demonic, satanic, or other things because of my intelligence. When I went to high school, I was told I was supposed to skip a grade. I was supposed to go into those university-bound classes, but my parents were still thinking, hey, she is still satanic. She is still demonic to the other people. We don't want her to be demonic or satanic, although this burst of intelligence was my parents' fault. I will tell you more about my parents. They were good people, but they were very impressionable. So I did not skip a grade because of their impressionability. I could not go into the university classes that I so wished to join because my parents were kind of superstitious. It took them one big depression and a couple of dark thoughts later to notice that, yeah, I should have been treated the way I should have been treated, like a human, like a person, like an individual that actually has rights and stuff, and that I had the right to nourish my brain however I wanted. They did not think that before the depression. It was after the depression they started slowly learning that the errors of their ways, but they were still good people. They were a little naive and would listen to anything that people would say, which would be stupid. Literally, if you said the sky was green, they would literally look up and say it is. If the Big Dipper was the Little Dipper or something, sometimes if you were of an authority figure, they were a sucker for it. So, that being said, the 20s were when my parents were learning that they could not handle my emotions. They wanted to know why, what was going on, why was I feeling every freaking emotion in the emotion wheel, why was I going insane, why did I break my electronics after using them and then do self-harm and other stupid stuff. Sorry. There will be some talk about that. I did do self-harm because of what happened to me as a wee child and as a 14-year-old, and not being able to be in the gifted program and stuff. That was pretty harsh and led me to do something stupid. As you can see on my middle finger, that on both of them, that there are semicolons. That is designated for the Grim Reaper. He ain't getting me yet. So, and I have other tattoos that have the semicolon. I think one or two other ones. That, to show that I ain't leaving, my story's going to continue. So, I ended up going to the hospital, and I told my parents everything what happened. 30s started to get even more rockier as I was going through a bits of a time. This was during the COVID time, and this was also when I was starting to spread my wings. So I came here where I live now. I will not disclose my address, but this is where I live now. I'm happy. But there was one more kick to the nuts before I had two more kicks to the nuts before I could find some happiness. And sometimes I don't find happiness at all when I wake up. Sometimes it's just a rotten old day. But anyways, I found, number one, mother died. Number two, my brother, and I will make a video about that one day, where my brother did something stupid to me. And then I will mention about my father's death, which was not as nice as well. So those are three things, three kicks to the nuts that I had to take before I could be balanced. So this is where I am now. Like it or lump it, I'm here. Some people would say I shouldn't be on this planet. Those people are screwballs. And there are some people that will agree that I'm a gem. It depends on which personality you are. Are you dark triad? Or are you light triad? Are you nice? Are you mean? Are you stupid? So, anyways, this channel is to show that you may not be alone in your battles. You may not be alone in a lot of things. This is just an informal YouTube channel about my life. So, feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button, please.